if you've yet to see my live reaction, I recommend you check that out first, because you'll get to see my raw reaction on the chapter. But, okay, so today I'm here to bring you a Tokyo Ghoul manga chapter review of chapter 31. This chapter has a lot of content, a lot of setup, a lot of shit going down, a lot of confirmation on so many details. Like, my god, Ashita, you're grabbing my balls with this chapter. you're squishing them. My god, dude. Like, this chapter, I keep saying this every week, and I want to continue saying it. Best chapter of Tokyo Ghoul Re. It's the best I've seen. So many things, like, oh my god, I don't even know where to begin, because you have Almond confirmed as Floppy. He talks about the twins. You have it to where Papa Arima, he pops up, and he leaves and listens to Sasaki. You have it to where white-haired Kaneki makes a return. The merging personalities does take place. Kaneki bites some ears off and eating people. And then you got the knight-looking Kakuja of Pineapple. And then Kaneki, or Sasaki, wrecking Pineapple without his Kakuja. And then you have it to where we find out about another operation of the Clinky Steel Transportation operation. And then you go even further than that. You see Urei, he's sitting there, he's depressed and upset, and you see how he's demoralized. And you also have it to where Hinami is going to be probably Sasaki's pet. Just so much more, too. There's more to this chapter. I will get into it, but I want to cover something that really shocked me when I sat down and read this chapter. See, I've sensed this for a long time, and I've kind of held back saying it for a very long time, and I've sensed it ever since I saw the character that is, Kaneki Kin. Ever since I saw that character, I've had this type of feeling. And seeing this chapter, it kind of confirms my thoughts about this subject. So, let's talk about it. I don't know how many of you Chibits right now that's currently watching has seen a show or an anime series or read the manga that's called Yu Hakusho. I don't know how many of you have actually seen that series. If you have, 10 points to you. You probably know what I'm about to talk about. Shinobu Sensui. As we know, he was one of the main villains of Yu Hakusho. He was a character written by Togashi. Yeah, Togashi, the man that wrote Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, that dude. Togashi wrote Shinobu Sensui. He was a character that had multiple personality disorders. Like, he had split personalities, and these split personalities were all different people, with their own different characteristics, their own personalities, their own different likes, tastes, and stuff like that. They were all individuals that were different, but they shared the same body. Or I guess you could say, they kind of didn't share the same mind either, since they were, different personalities. This was one person that had a fractured mind. That's kind of what Shinobu Sensui was. And he made these personalities to defend others and defend himself. For instance, to protect others from himself and protect himself from others. He made these personalities to accept and cope with different issues that arose throughout his entire life. That was, Shinobu Sensui. That was kind of what made him unique. And now, after seeing the writing of this chapter, as I said in my last chapter review, the personalities of Kaneki Kin and Sasaki Heise, they were merging. They were definitely merging, or they were coming on some level ground where they were accepting each other. That's a better way to kind of, I guess, look at last week's chapter. See, Heise and then Kaneki, they both kind of accepted each other and their personalities. That's what the last chapter really meant, besides just merging. Come to see in this chapter, you see a little boy with solid white hair. And this little boy is obviously Kaneki Kin, white-haired Kaneki Kin, or just Kaneki Kin, let's just say that. What makes this very unique, and what really sets this apart from what I have seen thus far from Tokyo Ghoul, is because this confirms something that really just signifies how broken Kaneki and Sasaki are as characters. What makes this chapter so good, and why it reminds me of Shinobu Sensui is because Kaneki made the personality Sasaki to cope with what was going on. And also Kaneki. He was afraid of his personality. And last week's chapter was acceptance. With this, it's like the two personalities are having conversations between each other. See, Kaneki Kin's like the stronger side that gets his hands dirty, does dirty shit to keep the body alive. Sasaki Heisei is the weaker version, the human side, that, you know, is more compassionate, as you can say. Each of them have their own compassions and likes and love and stuff like that, but they each have their own different distinctive traits about them. And when you see that, you instantly key in on how similar Shinobu Sensui and Heisei Kin, I want to mix both of their names together, are as a character. Because after this chapter, what this confirms is that Kaneki and Heisei are two people in one body. Very similar to Shinobu or Karno Kyokai, to go even further, like Shiki. If you ever watched Karno Kyokai and you saw Shiki, she had, like, you know, a male and a female inside of her, and it was just split personality. That's kind of what it was. Or two souls inside of one body. And that's what's going on here. That's exactly what is taking place. Kaneki and Heisei are two different people sharing the same body and I guess sharing the same mind. And it's in a situation to where they are each having their own distinctive traits about them to where they can communicate. And that is fucking scary. It's very different from, you know, inner demons and stuff like that from shonen and shit. It's very different from that. It really is. It's very different from, let's say, the nine-tailed fox inside of Naruto. This situation is very different because it puts it on a level as showing psychological trauma for our character. We already know Kaneki was broken to begin with. Like, he had this, you know, psychological trauma after what happened with the centipede inside of his brain and, you know, the chair scene. We already knew he was broken. But this kind of confirms really how broken he is. Like, this really shows, because he's so far broken, now his, like, soul fractured into two different people. That's kind of what this is. He fractured his own damn soul into two people. Or actually, you could consider three people. If you don't know what I'm about to get at, I'm about to explain. Centipede. See, let's break this down. Kaneki Kin equals the Ghoul personality, or the personality that will get shit done and be very brutal and evil. The other side, the human side, would be Sasaki Heisei, the human personality that's very compassionate, very sweet, very kind, and caring, and very, I guess, kind when he, you know, messes with others. And then, you know, kind of, the Ghoul personality, Kaneki Kin, is the exact opposite, but he still does have his compassion. And then you have the third personality, Centipede. Centipede is the embodiment of insanity. That's pretty much what Centipede's personality is. And judging by how it was done earlier on in Tokyo Ghoul, if we go back, let's just backtrack. Let's just, you know, back up real quick. Let's back up into the story of Tokyo Ghoul Part 2. If we remember the scene, okay, if we remember the scene with Nishiki when he first appeared, and we saw, you know, Kaneki have, like, the Kakuja mask pop up through Heisei's mind. He's like, here, let me in. You just see the, you know, the Kakuja mask. That was, you know, Kaneki Kin. You could assume that's different from the boy personality, because let's look at this. In this chapter, what really makes me think this is because Kaneki, or Sasaki, it's kind of confusing now because they're two different people. Sasaki sees the little boy, or represented as Kaneki Kin. He sees the little boy off in the distance. He still sees him. And that shows right there, he's fucking crazy. Or we already knew that, but he's crazy. He's seeing people. He's seeing his other personality. And the boy is represented as, you know, Kaneki. And that would mean Centipede that we saw a long time ago would be represented as his insanity. So that's what I'm getting at. So now that I've explained that, my thoughts about what really sets Kaneki apart from a lot of characters we have seen and just standard characters, he's very unique. He's a very unique character. I like characters like Kaneki. And to have a character that reminds me so much of Shinobu Sensui, that's a 100 out of 10 plus for this chapter. Seriously. Any character that can remind me of Shinobu and then be similar in certain ways. Not exactly a carbon copy. It's still different. But be similar and remind me of Yu Yu Hakusho. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. You know you have a good writer. But that's very obvious by Ishida. Ishida's a good writer. So, yeah, now that I pointed that out with that little person, let's get into some other details. I mean, I think I've elaborated on that quite enough. So, besides the fight with, you know, Kaneki or Sasaki versus, you know, Pineapple. Pineapple got wrecked, by the way. Holy shit. No Kakuja. No Kakuja. Kaneki wrecked him. We have it where Arima appears. Arima appears, and oh my god, okay, I got scared. I was about to shit a brick. I was really about to shit a brick when I was reading this chapter. In my live reaction, I was so fucking scared, because I see Arima pop up, and then I instantly imagine, like, wait a minute, there's a bunch of characters in this auction I fucking care about. All these ghouls I do care about. And we do know Papa Arima, he takes no prisoners, man. He'll kill people. He'll kill bitches. He would. He would. And so, to see him pop up, I was scared. I was like, oh my. And then I see, you know, the panel underneath it. You see Hinami, and I'm like, oh, fuck, no. Because Arima being there, that means, you know, Hinami's going to get killed. I'm like, no, don't do this shit. Thank God Ishida trolled. Thank God he trolled. Thank God he trolled. Because I was not ready for that. I was not ready when I saw him pop up. What we come to find out, though, is that Papa Arima does care about Sasaki quite a bit. Really does care about him. You could see that in the way he acted. He just backed off. And then it was even further how he let Sasaki have control of Hinami. You know, what I felt very funny was how Sasaki, he's like, since I defeated this girl, shouldn't I be allowed to have, you know, full control over her, you know, do what I want? And to see that, I'm like, oh my god. So it kind of, what that means is, it's like Sasaki is saying, she's my pet now. She's my fucking pet. And I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. Oh, that's great. That's fucking great. So, yeah, Hinami is like Sasaki and Kaneki's pet. She's the pet of the family. So, you have all the little children of, you know, Sasaki watching over the little Quinky squad. And then you have Papa Arima, that's the father. And then, you know, Sasaki, older brother, is like, oh, I want a pet, daddy, I want a pet, papa. And Hinami's pet. Okay, I think I've, you know, kind of probably pissed off Hinami fans, but it's the truth, you know it is, Papa Arima, and, yeah, okay, fuck, let's just move past it. Okay, so, I'm glad Hinami's alive. I've explained Shinobu Sensui with the similarities of what happened in this chapter with the little Kaneki. We have Almond, Floppy, Papa. That's the next thing I want to talk about. So, Almond is confirmed to be Floppy. It's very obvious now. It's very obvious. Like, it's very fucking obvious. There's no way you can deny the information we got in this chapter, because there's really... let's see, there's 3 big points I could point out with this chapter that makes it very similar. Actually, probably more than that, probably 4 points. For one, the weapon. If you look closely, the weapon that the road person is holding, that is definitely Almond, was holding a giant-ass weapon. That's something that Almond would, you know, use in combat. That's one. Number 2, you see a panel that shows the face, or, you know, shadowed out face, and it looks very similar to Almond. So, yeah, but you could say, like, oh, we didn't see his face. Okay, let's go further than that. In part 1 of Tokyo Ghoul, which has been pointed out time and time again from fellow Chibits linking me it over and over again, I will discuss it right now. In part 1, there was a cover page. I think it was in chapter 126 or 123. It was a long time ago. In those chapters, it showed Almond in that type of robe, that attire. And so, it's instantly assumed that that is Almond. That's pretty much confirmed right then and there. And then even further than that, I mean, you also have it to where the entire build of him, the way he's called Floppy, and he's with Ogiri Tree, just, yeah, okay. So I felt like I've delivered enough information to say that this is Almond. So, there we go. The big question is, we have to wonder right then and now, is that with Almond popping up, you gotta wonder something. See, he was attacking Ogiri Tree. He was cannibalizing his fellow ghouls. Because it said at that point in the chapter that Almond was, or this person, this mysterious ghoul, was eating the survivors of Ogiri Tree trying to run away. And when they found the remains of the ghouls, they seemed to be cannibalized. So that would confirm that Almond is eating ghouls. That would mean he would have a Kakuja, from what I can assume from the way the chapter is written. I might be mistaken in something, but that's what I assume while I was seeing that part. So, yeah, that's pretty fucking scary. But it goes even further than that, too, actually. Another point I want to mention. Almond also mentions the twins. He mentions the last name of the twins. So, yeah, I wonder why Almond would say that right now, though. That's a big question. That's something we do need to learn. Like, did he just see them? Are they coming? Did he just say them to say that? I mean, we don't know. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. There was a sad moment in this chapter. A very, very, very sad moment. Oh, God, dude. You see Akira come face to face with Pineapple in this. That was sad. That was sad. That was so sad, dude. That was fucking sad. That was sad. That was so sad. Well, when you just see Akira, she's like crying. You see, you know, Pineapple. He looks at her. You see, he realized who she was. You could tell the distraught in his face of how upset he was. It's sad, man. I feel so bad for Yasuo. I really do. I feel so bad for him. He didn't deserve that shit. He didn't. He's badass now, but he didn't deserve that. He really didn't. I really, really hope they don't kill him. I really hope they try to save him, like they did with, you know, Kaneki Kid. We'll have to see how it goes, though, but I hope he doesn't die. He deserves another chance. I really believe Sato deserves another chance. That's just my opinion on that. Let's see, what else do we have? Let's see, Kaneki ate some people, ate his ears, okay. We have talked about the twins, we talked about Almond, that's Floppy. We talked about Hirabi going with Kaneki now, and the split personalities of Shinobu. I talked about Arima appearing. I talked about the Quinky. Oh, yes, the Quinky's still transportation. Okay, that's something I want to mention right now. In the dialogue, we come to find out that the Quinky still operation was discovered. Like, they were found out. That plan was discovered by the ghouls, Ogiri Tree. And then instantly I'm like, okay, so how did they figure that out? And then I saw how Uta, or No Face, he was in the background in a panel, and he's like, oh, just as planned, I think it's time. He says that. So you could assume that the theory I made a long time ago, that most likely he was infiltrating, you know, CCG, is probably true. He was probably going into CCG getting information, top secret information, disguising himself as No Face, since we saw him disguise himself as Arima. So this is how Clown gets her information, or Ogiri Tree gets her information, probably because of Clown. So I think that's about it. I think I have covered everything to this chapter. I think I have. Oh yeah, the look of Pineapple. Pineapple's Kakuja looks like a knight. It's owl, but looks like a knight. It looks really cool. That's about it. Love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.